Hello, I'm Dr. Andrew Allen from Georgia College and State University, and that was the middle school lyrical alto etude. So this is in the key of F major for us altos. There's a B flat in the key signature. So anytime I see that, I want to start thinking about which B flat fingering we use. We have two normal options. If you're used to using 1 and 1 B flat, I'd set that one aside. It's really not ideal for most purposes on saxophone. Rather, we want to try the side B flat, which is 1, 2, an A, with this lowest side key. That plays a beautiful B flat in the middle and top registers. Or you could do the bis B flat, which is the B key with the normal first finger, and also that small key under the B key with the same finger. Throughout this etude, I think you can just stick to bis B flat. That's going to make all of those B flats quite a bit easier for you, depending on what you've been using. Now, going back to the beginning of this etude, one of the first things that you see under the first bar, after the mezzo forte, is espress. That's short for expressive. Originally, it was short for espressivo. The English version of that is expressive. So what does that mean? You need to treat this like it is the most beautiful musical thing on earth and you are trying to move your audience. So any dynamics that you see, you need to really, really amp up. How do we do that? We're used to playing in band where sometimes we have to hold back a little bit. Take your phone or take a recording device of some kind, set it on the opposite side of a room, and record yourself playing these dynamics. Can you really hear what you're doing on the recording? If so, great. If not, that's something to continue to work on. Another thing you may want to think about with this expressive idea is using vibrato. You may have heard me use it. It's that little undulation and pitch that I use throughout. If you don't know how to do that yet, it's okay. Scroll down through the description of this video and there's another video that'll help you out with that. Accents. We have a few accents through here, and sometimes I have young students think, I'm just going to tongue those harder. That doesn't really give you an accent. In fact, the only thing that does give you an accent is a little pulse in your airstream. I can feel my abdominal muscles bouncing as if I were saying, ho, 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 ho. Try that, feel what your abdominal muscles are doing, and then try to replicate that little pulse in your airstream. You can use your tongue to shape that, but I would never go more than just a nice little light tongue on that. That air pulse is what's going to give you that accent. Conversely, your staccato, your air shouldn't get involved. You should just be blowing straight streams of air. I like saying blowing whole notes. And then your tongue is going to do a nice little t, 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 t articulation against that steady stream of air. Now, listen as I perform the technical etude. That was the technical etude. Now, one of the most difficult things for a young saxophonist in this etude is the very first note, the low C. Sometimes that doesn't want to respond as readily as other notes on the horn. But there are a few things you can do to work towards consistent attacks in the low register of the saxophone. First, you have to have your air set. If you try to speed your air up into low C, you're always going to get a squawk. I want you to try just starting the note with your air and seeing, is the air fast enough out of the gate that I can get that low C started? Something else you really need to make sure is that your embouchure is set. Your top teeth are on top of the mouthpiece. Your corners are coming in as if you're saying, ooh, and the reed is resting on your lower lip. And that's all set before you start to play that low C. It's going to take quite a bit of work. Again, I would try without the tongue initially as an exercise, and then once your air is fast enough to get that C to come out, then add the tongue in to help shape the beginning of it. But that's going to be something you want to work on every day. Now, counting and working in small chunks are absolutely vital. One of the best pieces of advice I can give you on this etude is, if you don't already have a metronome or a metronome app, get one or borrow one from your band with your band director's permission. After you do that, talk to your band director about how to work with the metronome. If you know how to properly work with the metronome, starting at very slow tempos, gradually working your way up, working in small chunks, building those chunks out, your life is going to get a lot easier and you're going to save a lot of time initially. So talk to your band director about that. If you have any questions beyond that, just shoot me an email. I'd be happy to talk about how we structure practice with the metronome. We have a few accents throughout. Make sure that the same rules apply as what we just talked about in the first etude, that you're using that little air pulse. Also, measure 7. We have a funny little counting thing. If you don't have a system for counting triplets, talk to your band director, but really making sure that we define the duple versus triple. What do I mean by that? We have eighth note based rhythms and triplet rhythms in the same bar. You need to make sure that that's very well defined. The way that I would count that: 1 and 2 lolly, 3 and 4 lolly, 1. Whatever your band director likes you to use, please use that, because that's what you're going to use going forward. I hope that these suggestions have been helpful. I certainly hope that through the process of preparing these etudes, you grow as a musician and as a saxophonist. If you have any questions along the way, I hope that you'll reach out to me. I'm always happy to answer questions from great young students. But until then, all the best of luck and happy practicing.